Now, you don't have to be a genius to see why the president's plan is alarming a lot of people right now. Right? It's not just because it seems way too early, but it's also because he's saying he wants everyone to congregate together in churches around the country, which is the worst idea possible in a pandemic. This is basically every supervillain's wet dream, right? A big event with huge crowds where everyone gets infected by a deadly toxin. Trump is like the Joker, just with more makeup. And this idea is so insane that everyone, from Democratic governors to conservative politicians to the entire field of medical experts, agrees that unless the virus is contained, people have no business gathering in large groups. And you know, it's so surreal that we ended up in a situation where the one person who doesn't understand how complex and dangerous this is happens to be the most powerful man in the world. It feels like if there was an asteroid hurtling towards the Earth, everyone would be trying to blow it up off course. And Trump would be like, I think we should give the asteroid a chance, folks. Maybe it's friendly. Look, it even has my hair. Because what's most mind-blowing about Trump's sudden impulse to get back to normal is that right now the situation is far from under control, especially here in New York, which right now has over half the country's confirmed coronavirus cases. It's gotten so bad in New York that the White House's coronavirus task force is advising that even people who left New York already should self-quarantine for 14 days regardless of where they are in the country or in the world. And that's going to be hard for anyone who has to look after a New Yorker who's like visiting them. There's going to be people complaining about their quarantined friends, just like, he won't eat. He says the pastrami's too dry and the bagels aren't boiled. I tried ordering pizza and then he just cussed at me for 10 minutes. And with coronavirus cases not even expected to peak until 2 or 3 weeks from now, the city is already in desperate need for more hospital beds, more medical supplies, more ventilators, which literally keep people breathing when they can't do it on their own. And Governor Cuomo definitely doesn't feel like Trump and the federal government are doing enough to help.
New York Governor Andrew Cuomo blasting the federal government, saying it needs to provide more medical equipment like ventilators.
You want a pat on the back for sending 400 ventilators? What are we going to do for 400 ventilators when we need 30,000 ventilators? You're missing the magnitude of the problem, and the problem is defined by the magnitude.
Yeah, man, I'm not going to lie. I can see why Cuomo is pissed at Trump. If you need 30,000 ventilators, it's insulting for someone to give you 400. It's like seeing someone drowning in the ocean, and instead of throwing them a life preserver, you just toss them a rubber duck. Here, at least you're entertained. Wah, wah. And apparently, part of the reason New York isn't getting enough federal help is because Trump feels that Governor Cuomo is just too mean to him. This is an actual thing. Today, the Daily Beast quotes a White House official saying, if you're good and respectful to Trump, he will treat you the same. It's that simple. And yesterday, in an interview, Trump said pretty much the same thing right out in the open.
And we are doing very well with, I think, almost all of the governors for the most part. But, you know, it's a two-way street. They have to treat us well also. They can't say, oh, gee, we should get this, we should get that.
Yes, you treat Trump well, and he'll treat you well. Or as he would call it, a quid pro corona. And so, as mind-boggling as it seems, while New York is in an actual crisis right now, with thousands of lives at stake and people actually dying, Donald Trump is asking people to be polite to him in exchange for his help. And so I guess to all New Yorkers, I say, give the president what he wants. Tell him, please, Mr. President, do your mother job.